Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's episode, we are doing a full service on the Discovery 3, and I only made one mistake. Let's see how bad it was. So inside the boxes, most of the stuff is Marle, and that is an OEM brand, which is the same quality as the original Land Rover stuff. It's just their own brand and their own version. So nice quality air filter there. Again, good quality cabin filter with all the details on there, obviously getting the flow right, and this is a carbon impregnated filter as well, which is really nice to see. We've then got our oil filter. Again, it's got the little rubber O-ring on there, so you mustn't lose that, very important. And then you've got your main O-ring as well to seal it all up. Then we've got our fuel filter. Now I have only fitted a genuine one of these in the past. It's got a really nice rubber seal on there, and the quality is much better than some of the budget kits you can get. It comes also with its own new O-rings and a fitting washer. And then lastly, we've got our sun plug washer, brand new, which comes with a new O-ring. Now, if you wanted to, you could go super budget, because Britpart do a super budget filter kit as well, which is pretty much nearly half the price. It's around 40 quid, whereas this one's around 70. But I've always erred on the side of caution. These are such important, vital components on a service that I don't want any failures. So I always go for OEM. I think if you're going to go for genuine Land Rover, you are absolutely mad, but we do offer it. It's twice the price again, so you're looking at about £125 for a full service kit if you go for genuine Land Rover parts. If that's what you want to go for, it's all well and good. We do it, and we do sell a lot of them, but genuinely, this is as good as the Land Rover stuff you're going to get. So this is what I'd recommend, and this is what we're going to fit. So we are cheating considerably on our Discovery 3 because we've already removed our glove box here, the door and the glove box itself. Now you don't have to do that. You can just get access actually if you remove the glove box door, drop it down with these two clips that fit in here and here. Glove box lid will drop down and you'll get access to what is here is our cabin filter. So it's just a little release clip and then it just slides out. We've got our cabin filter. Now interestingly, that looks clean, but will it be? There we go. So how dirty is that? Yep, that's pretty filthy. So that's not the original, but it's certainly not clean. So let's get a nice clean one in there. So this original one was in properly. Our new one, you'd think if you put it in with the writing correct, you put it in the wrong way around. So make sure the arrows face down and the slot in your air filter. And it has to go in and up slightly. There we go. You've got these little guides that will help keep it pushed up and in. There we go. That is the easy one done. To get our air filter changed is we've got to remove the intake Jubilee here. There we go. We have to disconnect, that's the air math sensor. Two little clips at the bottom. There we go. And don't forget to put that back on. And then we literally just got screws. So this should now come loose. Right, and there we've got our air filter. Ooh. So obviously air's drawn up from in here and out, so any debris in there, you know, as long as it's not really bad, you can just leave that because it's all should be trapped in here. This actually doesn't look too bad. So it looks clean when you take it out, but when you compare it to a new one, you can see the difference you're going to make. So I did put a K&N in the last Discovery 3 I had, and I really liked the way that performed, but it was a bit noisy, especially with the raised air intake. So we're going to go for a traditional one here. Here we go. Looks like we're going to have to take this plate off after all. After avoiding it for doing the transmission, I'm going to have to do it for the engine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. We'll get the tray off. Right, I don't like all that oil in there, so I'm going to suck it out because we've got a sucky tool now, so we might as well put it to good use. Right, we cleaned the housing off a little bit, and you can just see in here we've got this rubber O-ring, so that's going to come off. We've got our new one. Do need a little bit of oil on that. So I've just dipped it in our old oil. It should do. Just make sure it lays in there without a twist. Okay, so you can see this little nipple on the end here. That's going to correspond with a hole. Needs to drop in just there. See that hole in there. So pretty simple stuff, nothing else needs to be looked at in there, it's all nice and clean. On this little O-ring here, I want a little bit of oil, so I'm going to dip it in our... There we go. There we go, that's located in nicely. You don't want to do these up too tight. As I said, I think they're plastic, but you're looking at about 15 Newton meters, so it's just a little nip really. There we go. And I've obviously oiled my O-ring as well, so that's all done. We'll drop the car down, put the wheel on, drop it down and get it filled up. Okay, that is 5 litres. Well, I'd say it's 5, it's probably more like 4.8 because most of it went all over the airbox. Right, here we have our dipstick, which is located on the right-hand side on our vehicle near the battery. Now, you need your oil to be filled somewhere between this ball and this ball. So we've only got 5 litres in now, so it's only just showing at the bottom. So I reckon we'll put another half a litre in and check it. Right, so we put 5.5 litres in. Recommended is 5.7. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit in there, and it's showing at the right level, at the full level on the dipstick. But I am going to run it for a little bit, get it up to temperature, and then we'll do another check. Now, if you're interested, that is what we've taken out, and it's pretty black, very dark, and not the best. So I'm hoping that's made a big difference. So for those of you who've not done any kind of servicing on your own vehicle, the Discovery 3, to be honest, is a really good starting point because it's not complicated. It's a pretty basic service process. So you've seen me do the cabin filter and the air filter, just done the oil filter and the complete oil change, and it's not rocket science. You know, you shouldn't be afraid. It's definitely something you can do, and you save yourself a lot of money rather than get it down to your local garage. Now we've got one more thing to do, and that's to change our fuel filter. Again, that's not a tricky job, but I'm just going to make sure that the temperature gets up on the engine. We'll check the oil level again, make sure that we've got enough oil in there, and then tomorrow, it's getting a bit late now, we'll get the fuel filter done, and then we've pretty much done the full service, yeah, on the Discovery 3. Easy peasy. Right, we're set up now to do the fuel filter. So we had a little mistake with the ordering. I selected the wrong VIN. I selected the VIN from my old Discovery 3, which was an 09 plate, which meant it was an 8A on the chassis. So that is the later filter. Now we have this filter because ours is only an 05 and it's on a 5A actually. So this is the filter we need. Now it's a shame because it's a bit trickier to fit, if I'm honest. Now they've colour coded this nicely with this little instructional panel on the top here, which is useful. But what's even better is they've given me a removal tool. So these little clips you see in the diagram, I'll show you under the car, you have to pinch them, push them down and then pull them up. And it looks like they're giving me this to make the job easier because they can be a bugger, and I haven't got a special pair of pliers with the points inside to squeeze on. There is our fuel filter. So the first thing we've got to do is drill the diesel out of it. Now, I'm not wearing gloves. I probably should, but I want to be able to feel those clips. But anyway, should just be able to rotate that and the fuel will come out. Let's try and do that without making a mess. I did use the little clamps, the little clips applied, and that did grab that, and down and up and off it came. So I'll just rotate between that one and the slightly bigger one to get the others off. Got them all off, and it wasn't impossible, if I'm honest. That clip was an absolute godsend, so that is well worth buying the Delphi one just for that clip. Make sure you put that clip in your toolbox, just in case. Right, so let us now remove that. That's an 8mm. Right, I've just noticed. We've got 2 blue, 1 yellow and 1 white, and up here we've got 2 yellow, 1 blue and 1 white. But luckily, the big fat one, the yellow one there in the middle, is the one that goes into the middle of our pump, filter, sorry. So we're okay. So just make sure you put that yellow one at the back there on, yellow one goes in the middle, and then blue and white we're okay with. Right, so we are in. We've got it clamped in there again. Now, one thing that was really important that you might not have heard because of the hand dryer in the background, but we did actually hear a click on every single one. So when I put them all in, I thought possibly they were already engaged, but they weren't. So you really need to make sure you push down and get a really good solid click out of each of those, and then also give them a little lift and make sure they're secure. There's a lot of pressure that comes out of those lines, and you'll lose a lot of fuel if you've not done it right. So as I change the fuel filter, I've introduced air into the system. So what we have to do is obviously make sure your low pressure fuel pump is ticking over when you've got it on ignition. You've got the ignition on, and then as you're cranking it, you need to remove this little bleed Schrader valve, turn it round and push it in to release fuel and air as it's cranking. So it will keep pushing round, it will keep coming out, we'll try and start, but it's basically purging the air out of the system. And then it will crank, and then where we go. So we are running. That was an easy job because of this tool. Without this tool, I would have struggled, really. And I know it looks basic, but that is just one, probably the entire reason. If you can't think of any other reasons to buy an OEM service kit or a Delphi fuel filter, that is the reason to spend the money on it, because that was worth its weight in gold. That's going in my toolbox. That made the job easy. So yeah, we are pretty much done and dusted. So everything for the service has been done. I don't want to lose this, put it somewhere safe. Everything is done for the service. And to be honest, I reckon I probably spent 3 hours doing all the filters, pretty much. That was it. And doing the oil swap. I haven't checked the oil level today yet because I need to run it up to temperature. I'm going to check it again in a bit when it's warm. But I'm really chuffed that that was that easy, and I think you guys would definitely be able to cope with that on your drive. I've done it on the floor and it was a piece of cake. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Do give me a thumbs up if you did. Really looking for some more subscribers. So if you feel a little bit generous, click the subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.